Hello guys, it's Colere DK Tutorials. I'm David Karis and today we are discussing the introductory part of chemistry, and that is matter. We all know that matter is anything that has weight or mass and occupies space. The human body, hair that you can't see, any liquid, solid or gas are matter. And matter is divided into two broad categories. We have the pure substance and we have the mixture. Pure substance are those that can exist on their own, that still retain their originality or their original identity. Examples of pure substance are the elements and compounds. And we have mixture, which comprises of two or more substances combined together. When they are the same, we call them homogeneous mixture. When they are different, we call them heterogeneous mixture. Chemistry is basically the study of structure, the composition and properties of matter. There are certain parameters we use to determine whether a substance is in its pure form or not, and these are called physical constants or properties. They include the boiling point, the melting point, solubility, the density, and other spectroscopic studies like the ultraviolet diffraction studies, infrared ray studies, and so on and so forth. Now, we are going to look at the properties of matter. The general properties of matter, I've already mentioned them before. They are the physical properties and also the chemical properties. You can put them together: the solubility, the melting point, the boiling point, the volume, the length, the density, the shape, even the states of matter, the elasticity, and all. We have three states of matter. We have the solid state, the liquid state, and the gaseous state. Though there are more than three states like the plasma and quarks, but these are just three major states. And as you can see, the solid state, their molecules are tightly packed. The liquid state, not really tightly packed, and the gaseous state, their molecules are spaced apart. Their molecules are spaced apart. The solid, liquid, and gaseous state or phase of matter have distinguished properties in terms of their volume and molecular changes. That brings me to the change of states. Under certain conditions, the state of matter can transform from one state or phase to another. It is mostly determined by the temperature and pressure. Triple point is the temperature and pressure at which the three states of matter of a pure substance coexist. Example is that of water, in which the triple point is at 0.01 degrees Celsius of temperature and 45 millimeter of mercury pressure. As you can see from the graph above, the states in which water exists as both solid, liquid, and gas is at a point B, and that is called the triple point of a pure substance. This pure substance exists at equilibrium at this point. Let's move to the change of state of from one form to another. We have the evaporation, condensation from liquid to gas, from gas to liquid. We have sublimation from solid directly to gas or vapor, and we have freezing and melting. Change of states from one form to another, depending on certain condition of temperature or of pressure. Now let's look at the heating curve for water. We know that water boils at 100 degrees Celsius and melts at 0 degrees Celsius. Now when a solid is converted to a liquid, it melts, and the temperature is called melting point. But at the temperature which is called melting point, there seems to be no change. As you can see by the blue horizontal line, there is no change in temperature, in which the solid coexists with the liquid. That means this particular solid is melting. This temperature is called the latent heat. That means the hidden heat. It is not detectable by the thermometer, and that particular heat energy that is absorbed by the solid state of matter is used to break down the intermolecular force of attraction between its molecule. So we call it the latent heat of fusion. As well as we have the one at 100 degrees Celsius, which is called the latent heat of vaporization. So at this temperature, the temperature is constant, it remains constant, in which there's a change of states, whereby we call it the melting point and the boiling point, or the melting temperature and the boiling temperature, the latent heat of fusion and the latent heat of vaporization. Observing the graph above, we heated water from minus 0 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius. At 0 degrees Celsius, the temperature remains constant. That is the latent heat energy. That's the temperature at which it does not change. When we continue to heat the solid, everything will have to melt to be converted to liquid, and we heat the liquid to 100 degrees Celsius, where the liquid begins to boil. And at this temperature, 100 degrees Celsius, it does not change. When we continue heating the liquid, there will be a rise in temperature, and the liquid will turn to gas. So as you can see, at 100 degrees Celsius and at 0 degrees Celsius, the temperature remains constant for the heating up of water. Now let's look at the properties of matter. I've spoken about this before. We have the physical properties and the chemical properties. Physical properties in the sense that there is no change in the chemical identity of the sample. That means it's basic observation. We have the color, the length, and the volume. By chemical properties in which there's a change in the chemical identity by the nature of the acidity, reactivity, flammability, or toxicity. Change of state, it can be either physical change or chemical change. Chemical change are not easily reversible. Physical change are easily reversible. In chemical change, new substance or products are formed. In physical change, new substance or products are formed. In chemical change, you need a high amount of energy, while in physical change, you need little or no amount of energy at all. Example of chemical change is the burning of wood, the rusting of iron. Example of physical change are all change of states. And you can see further examples. Basically, all change of state are physical change, while chemical change in which there is a change in the chemical identity of matter, like the combustion of wood, the rotting of fruits, rusting of iron, digestion of food. While physical change, we have the melting of ice cream, the boiling of water, shredding, chopping. Even physical change like the magnetization of metals. You can magnetize metals and demagnetize metals. And that is all for matter. Trust you learned a lot. Thank you.